Ever feel like chess masters are just operating on a whole other level? You know, like they can see the future of the game like dozens of moves ahead?
Really something else when you see them in action, right?
It is. Today, we're going to try to decode that chess master mystique.
Oh, cool.
We're diving deep into Adrian de Groot's thought and choice in chess.
Okay.
It's considered like the go-to book for understanding the way chess players think.
Yeah.
He spent years studying players of all levels,
Right.
but especially those masters. And what's so fascinating about de Groot's research
Yeah.
is that he didn't just stop at, like, documenting the moves.
Right.
He wanted to get inside their heads.
Uh-huh.
So he had players think out loud during games
Yeah.
and recorded everything they said as they weighed their options.
That's interesting.
So it's like a play-by-play,
Yeah.
but for their thoughts.
Exactly.
And through this,
Uh-huh.
he revealed something pretty surprising.
Oh.
Chess masters aren't just these calculating machines, crunching through millions of moves in their heads.
Oh, wow.
That's what I always assumed.
Yeah, you would think that.
Yeah.
But it's more than that. It's like de Groot found that experience, pattern recognition,
Right.
just like a really deep understanding of the board
Okay.
were actually even more important than just that pure calculation.
So they're seeing the bigger picture,
They are.
not just like individual moves.
Yeah, think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine you're a detective at a crime scene.
Okay.
You don't just start randomly dusting for fingerprints everywhere, right?
Right.
You take in the whole scene,
Yeah.
right? You notice key details,
Uh-huh.
potential clues,
Okay.
and then you can kind of start to formulate your hypothesis from there.
Okay, I'm following.
All right.
So how does that translate to the chessboard?
Well, de Groot, he actually breaks down chess thinking into 4 distinct phases.
Okay.
Orientation,
Uh-huh.
exploration, investigation, and choice.
Okay.
It's a structured approach,
Yeah.
like that detective working a case.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So first they orient themselves.
Okay.
They take a mental snapshot of the board,
Uh-huh.
identify key pieces,
Okay.
any weaknesses.
So they're getting their bearings,
They are
like the detective scanning the crime scene.
exactly looking for anything out of place.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Next comes exploration.
Right.
This is where they're starting to brainstorm,
Uh-huh.
generating ideas based on those dynamics of the position.
Okay.
Are there opportunities to attack?
Yeah.
Weak points to exploit?
Okay.
It's about exploring the different avenues before settling on a specific route.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
But I'm guessing this is where the serious calculation kicks in, right?
you got it.
Okay.
Investigation phase.
All right.
This is where they really dig deep.
Yeah.
They analyze variations, calculate potential consequences,
Uh-huh.
test the viability of their ideas. So like the detective carefully examining the clues.
That's a good way to put it.
If you're trying to piece together what happened.
Yeah, okay. So they're not just calculating every possible move at this point?
Right, so it's more focused
Yes.
based on their earlier observation.
Exactly. And finally, they reach the choice.
Okay.
They've done the analysis,
Oh,
weighed the options,
right.
and now it's time to make that decisive move.
This is making so much sense.
Good.
But hold on.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier about intuition playing a role.
I did.
Didn't de Groot find that even masters
Yeah.
rely on gut feeling sometimes?
That's right.
That's wild.
It is pretty interesting.
So it's not just this cold, hard logic.
yeah.
There's an element of feeling involved.
Yeah, there is.
How can you trust those feelings, though?
It's not about blindly trusting your gut.
Okay.
It's more about recognizing that
Yeah.
intuition is actually built on years and years of experience.
Uh-huh.
Those feelings you get. Yeah.
There's a really subconscious pattern recognition happening.
Oh, okay.
They've seen similar situations before,
Yeah.
and their brains are just drawing on that vast database of knowledge.
So they're not just pulling these moves out of thin air.
Not at all.
Those instincts are coming from real experience.
They are.
That's interesting.
And it highlights something really crucial.
What's that?
Chess mastery isn't just about raw talent.
Okay.
It's about honing your skills,
Yeah.
developing that intuitive sense through practice and study.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 phases,
We have.
but de Groot also talked about these things called sub-problems.
Yeah.
Can you explain what those are and how they fit into all this?
So think of a complex chess position,
Okay.
like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Okay.
You wouldn't try to solve the whole thing at once, would you?
Yeah.
You would break it down into smaller, more manageable sections, right?
Right.
That's what chess masters do.
Oh, wow.
They break down those complex positions into smaller sub-problems. That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So chess masters are basically doing the same thing with the game.
They are.
Wow, that's really strategic.
It is.
And it makes me think,
Yeah.
that this idea of breaking down problems could be helpful in any area of life, really.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's one of the most valuable things about de Groot's work.
Uh-huh.
He's not just teaching us about chess.
Yeah.
He's really revealing these principles of effective thinking
Okay.
that can be applied to any field.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it sounds like chess masters are using these mental frameworks, like these problem-solving strategies,
Right.
to make sense of what's happening on the board.
Uh-huh.
But de Groot's research was done decades ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So does it still hold up today
That's a great question.
in today's chess world?
You might be surprised to learn
Okay.
that it absolutely does.
Really?
Yeah. While chess theory and openings have evolved,
Uh-huh.
the fundamental ways that those chess masters think, those cognitive processes that de Groot uncovered,
Yeah.
they're still incredibly relevant.
So even with all the advances like in computer chess
Right.
and just the sheer amount of information available to players these days,
Yeah.
the core of how a chess master's mind works hasn't really changed.
The human brain is still the same amazing organ it was back then.
That's true.
And actually,
Yeah.
modern research
Yeah.
using things like eye tracking and brain imaging
Oh, wow.
has actually confirmed a lot of de Groot's findings.
That's cool.
Yeah, Rotos and Masters today
Right.
still show that incredible ability to grasp a position quickly,
Uh-huh.
filter out the noise,
Yeah.
and zero in on what matters.
That's really fascinating.
It is.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into the minds of the best chess players,
Uh-huh.
not just from de Groot's time,
Right.
but across history.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes de Groot's work so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just about chess.
Okay.
It's about human cognition. It's about the potential of our minds
Uh-huh.
to strategize, to analyze, and to solve complex problems.
Which brings us back to something you said earlier
Okay.
about by understanding how chess masters think,
Mm-hmm.
we can actually improve our own thinking in other areas of life.
You got it.
Right? So we may not all be aspiring chess grandmasters,
Right.
but we all face challenges in life,
We do.
whether it's at work,
Yeah.
in our personal lives,
Uh-huh.
or even just like making everyday decisions.
Right.
And those challenges often require strategic thinking,
They do.
clear analysis,
Uh-huh.
effective decision-making.
Absolutely.
And these are all skills
Yeah.
that de Groot observed in chess masters.
That's right.
And they're skills that we can develop.
We can.
So these principles that we're talking about here,
Yeah.
they're not just limited to the chessboard.
Not at all.
They're applicable to pretty much anything we do,
They are.
right? And there's more.
There is.
De Groot identified some specific qualities that really distinguish that master-level chess thinking.
Okay.
He found that they're incredibly selective,
Oh.
able to filter out all that irrelevant information,
Interesting.
and laser focus on the critical aspects of a position.
So they're not getting bogged down in the details.
Right. They're seeing the forest for the trees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're also able to analyze really deeply,
Uh-huh.
exploring variations and possibilities
Okay.
far beyond what most players can even imagine.
Wow.
Like their minds are working on multiple levels simultaneously.
And what about that idea of problem transformation?
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned that earlier. That sounds intriguing.
So imagine you're stuck on a problem.
Okay.
You've tried everything you can think of,
Yeah.
but nothing seems to work.
Mm-hmm.
What if you could change the problem itself?
Oh.
Reframe it in a way
Okay.
that opens up new solutions.
That sounds almost like magic.
Well, chess masters, they do this all the time.
Oh, wow.
De Groot called it problem transformation. It's about shifting your perspective,
Yeah.
looking at the situation from a different angle,
Okay.
and you can discover possibilities that others might completely miss.
So it's not just about solving the problem as it's presented.
Right.
It's about actively shaping the problem,
You got it.
finding the most advantageous way to approach it.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
And that's where the real power lies,
Yeah.
in that flexibility, that adaptability,
Okay.
that constant willingness to evolve your understanding of the situation.
It's not about being rigid.
No.
It's about constantly learning and adapting.
Exactly.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It has been fun.
We've shattered that myth of chess masters
Yeah.
as purely calculating machines.
Right.
Their thinking is this fascinating blend
It is.
of
Yeah.
calculation,
Uh-huh.
intuition,
Yeah.
experience,
Right.
and just this strategic depth.
It's really remarkable.
And what's truly remarkable
Yeah.
is that de Groot's research, conducted so long ago,
Yeah.
still resonates with us today.
It does.
It's a testament to the enduring power of his work
Yeah.
and the timeless insights that he provides
Mm-hmm.
into not just chess thinking,
Right.
but thinking itself.
Absolutely.
So with all this in mind,
Yeah.
what would you say to someone who wants to learn more,
Mm.
to explore this fascinating world of expert thinking further?
I'd say start with the Groot's book, of course.
Of course, yeah,
It's a classic for a reason.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
are there any other resources that you'd recommend
Oh, yeah.
for those who want to delve even deeper?
Sure, there's been a real surge of interest in expertise research
Oh, cool.
in recent years.
Right.
Building on that foundation that de Groot laid,
Uh-huh.
you could explore the work of contemporary researchers
Okay.
like Philip Ross,
Okay.
Anders Ericsson,
Uh-huh.
or Fernand Gobet.
Okay.
They've each made significant contributions
Yeah.
to our understanding of how experts develop their skills.
So there's a whole world of knowledge out there.
There is.
For those who are curious.
If you're interested, go explore it.
But before we wrap up,
Yeah.
any final words of wisdom for our listener
Oh, sure.
as they continue their journey of learning and mastery?
I'd say embrace those principles that we've talked about today.
Okay.
Approach those complex problems
Mm-hmm.
with a structured, strategic mindset.
Okay.
Break them down into smaller, more manageable chunks.
All right.
And perhaps most importantly, cultivate your intuition
Okay.
through deliberate practice and reflection.
Uh-huh.
Don't be afraid to trust that inner voice
Yeah.
as you gain more and more experience in your chosen field.
Fantastic advice.
Thanks.
So we've learned that chess masters aren't just these superhuman calculators.
Right?
They're strategic thinkers
Yeah.
who blend calculation with intuition, experience, and a deep understanding of the game's dynamics.
And the really exciting part is
Yeah.
that by understanding those principles behind their success,
Uh-huh.
we can all elevate our own thinking,
Okay.
not just in chess, but in every aspect of our lives.
It's about learning to think like a grandmaster,
Exactly.
not just in chess, but in life itself.
That's it.
That's a thought-provoking way to end our deep dive today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
And to our listeners, keep those minds sharp
keep learning.
and keep exploring.
Yeah.
And that concludes our deep dive for today.
See ya.
Until next time.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think
Jensen.
that, like, by studying these chess masters, we can actually unlock
Yeah.
these mental strategies that can help us in, like, any field, really.
Yeah. It's pretty powerful stuff.
It's like de Groot gave us this, like, secret decoder ring
Yeah.
for the human brain.
I like that analogy.
And what's really cool is that
Yeah.
these principles, they're not just for experts.
Wait. They're for everyone.
They're for anyone who wants to just think more effectively,
Absolutely.
approach challenges with more clarity and purpose,
You got it.
so we can all learn to think like grandmasters.
Even if we've never touched a chessboard.
Exactly.
It's about taking those insights from de Groot's work
Mm-hmm.
and applying them to our own lives.
Right.
Whether you're tackling a complex project at work
Yeah.
or making a tough decision
Mm-hmm.
or even just like trying to organize your day.
Right.
Those principles of strategic thinking,
Yeah.
problem breakdown, intuition,
They can make a real difference.
this has been such a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've really gone from thinking that chess masters were these like
Yeah.
superhuman calculators
Mhm.
to understanding that their thinking is actually
Yeah.
this dynamic blend
It is.
of calculation, intuition, experience, and strategy.
And we've seen that
Yeah.
those same elements
Yeah.
are present in all forms of expertise.
It's about developing those mental muscles,
It is.
honing those skills through practice and reflection.
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that
Right.
expertise isn't just about like what, it's about how you think.
Right.
It's about having those mental frameworks,
Yeah.
those problem-solving strategies
Uh-huh.
that allow you to apply your knowledge effectively.
Absolutely. And that's what makes this whole field so exciting.
Yeah.
We're not just studying chess.
Right.
We're studying the human mind in action.
We're exploring the very nature of expertise itself.
We are.
Well, I know I'm definitely feeling inspired to level up my own thinking after this deep dive.
Good. I'm glad.
Thanks for taking us on this journey.
Oh, it's been my pleasure.
And remember,
Yeah.
the journey of learning and mastery,
Mm-hmm.
it's ongoing.
It is.
There's always more to discover,
You got it.
always new ways to challenge ourselves
Mm-hmm.
and expand our thinking.
Absolutely.
To our listener, keep those minds sharp. Keep exploring.
Keep learning.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the next grandmaster in your field.
That's a good goal.
And that concludes our deep dive for today. Until next time.